Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast. This is a special edition where we talk to our first round of TRC Grambassadors. You may have seen them if you've been on Instagram. And I'm just going to kick it over to Anthony to kind of let you know a little bit more of how the whole thing works and, well, who we're talking to today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Grambassador program is something that we created to answer our many requests for sponsorships.
Right.
And as many people know, when you're a bigger company or you're a growing company, a lot of people assume that, hey, they can sponsor somebody in any shape or form, and especially in the car scene and the car detailing community. And what we decided to do was create something a little bit more special to where you get to choose just 10 individuals, only 10 per quarter, to represent the Rag Company worldwide. And this is something to where these people can be into detailing, they can be a hobbyist, they can be just a car enthusiast, they can be into makeup, whatever you want to call it, just that utilizes the Rag Company products and the towels. And so what we did is we created this quarter one program that's going to run through,
basically 4 quarters in a year.
4 quarters in a year, and 10 people per quarter, meaning 40 people total per year. And the perks of this program are that we get to reshare a lot of the content that these Grambassadors post, as well as send them out some really cool TRC goodies. And these people are kind of like our first to try out new stuff.
Yeah.
And so, with that said, I'd like to introduce you to one of our Q1 Grambassadors, Omar here,
Hey.
also known as mr847inthezl1.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right, cool. I got it.
First try.
So Omar, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit how you got into cars and kind of detailing and where you're at today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how I got into cars, right? My dad, he owned a Firebird back then. It was a nice red one.
Oh, nice.
He used to like to keep his car clean, and by default, he's like, "Hey, gotta help me clean it if you want to drive it eventually."
Yeah.
Obviously, I was a very little kid back then, and so, I was always on rim duty, cleaning all the little spokes, and that, back then the Firebird had like.
I think every kid. I had to do that for my dad. My dad made me clean his wheels, and I said, "Well, can I touch the paint?" And he's like, "You're not there yet."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay."
No, I had to take off wax.
Oh, did you? Oh man, you're straight into the deep stuff.
Yeah. I didn't get to touch wheels.
So sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So I was the wheel guy for a long time, and so that's kind of where it all started. Just being able to, spend time with my dad and clean his car. That's where, I started, liking cars in general, because his friends had nice Z28s, IROCs.
Oh, so nice.
That's where it all came from, and so, looking at it now, like, he was doing it totally wrong, but I think that
for the time that made sense, right?
We'll give the benefit of the doubt due to the era.
Yeah,
so
he was using dish soap in a bucket, so I was like, Dad, holy cow!
Just stripping wax every wash, right?
Yes, exactly. And so from there, when I got my own car, my first car was a GSX Mitsubishi all-wheel drive turbo.
Oh, nice. Man, what a car! What a car!
Pretty ridiculous.
I was 17 back then, and it was black too, so I had to keep that thing as clean as possible. That's where I learned black was just a bad idea in general.
Yeah.
Just because you can't keep that thing clean. And
but for the 5 minutes it looks good. It looks good.
Exactly. Exactly. And so that's where it all started, right? I started taking care of my own car. From there, I decided that I wanted to sell that, and I got a Lexus IS350.
Nice.
So that was a really nice one because it was nice and compact, and this one was pearl white. And so this one looked really good at all times.
Yeah.
White is a little bit more forgiving.
So were you more in were you more in the tuner scene then? If you went from like a GSX to like an IS350, is that kind of where you were at? Yeah.
Yeah, back then, the Fast and the Furious movies were very popular back then.
Oh, yeah.
They're still popular, Omar.
They're still popular.
Yeah, absolutely. We're like on.
It might have changed a little bit, but
yeah, definitely. And then from there, I kind of changed things up. Left the imports and got a truck. That my truck was huge. That's where I kind of stopped washing my own cars, just because that thing was huge.
Yeah,
it was
work, right?
Full-time job.
Yeah, it was a Tundra, and it was like a Crew Max, and it was also black. So I went back to black again.
Yeah.
And I decided that was just way too much time, and so I had to detailed, in a shop, and it wasn't really fun. And that's kind of where it all started today. Going back to the old days, I remember, like I said, watching my dad's Firebird, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a Camaro. And so I started doing some research and came across the ZL1. And at that time, it was during the period where they were leaving the 5th gen into the 6th gen version.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I decided just to wait a little bit longer, got that 6th gen, got it in black again. I think I just keep
not learning your lesson,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You're just going back for more.
Punishment, yeah.
Exactly, flip-flopping back and forth. And today, that ZL1's beautiful. Every time I go out to, is it Target or Home Depot, everybody's like, wow, that thing is just way too shiny.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like, is it real? I'm like, yeah, man, it's like right here. How's it not real?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a testament to using premium car care products, right? And that's not,
and actually taking the time.
Well, and taking the time. And it's one of those things to where I think, and maybe you can relate to this.
He could have been running it through a car wash.
Yeah,
keeping it clean.
It's a therapy thing. It's,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you enjoy it, but also it's, we've come so far in detailing products and in detailing in general that people are doing things right to where cars are looking better for longer, right?
Yeah.
They're staying cleaner for longer, and it's, it's one of those things, especially with a black vehicle, right? Once you learn how to maintain a black vehicle properly, it's not like right when the sun hits it, it's just a giant swirl mark. It's just not just a giant spider web anymore. You can minimize that a lot now. Where back in the day, there was really no way around that.
Yep.
It would just happen. You'd have to keep polishing or waxing it every week.
Or there weren't the techniques or the availability like we have with YouTube videos and things like that, and the channels and Instagram and stuff. So
Speaking of
you
which,
didn't get to learn about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I believe he's got one.
He does.
Yeah, you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's I tried it out, just for a while. It looked really easy. Like I used to like watching YouTube, or I still do. And I was like, I should start making some YouTube videos. And it's a lot of editing. I never really expected
the follow through is the hard part.
Yeah, the time it takes to edit, and then you nitpick everything, and you're like, I just want to redo this, and then you're like, well, at this time I'm like 5 hours, 6 hours into it, and you're like, how much longer do you really want to take? So
yeah.
Well, the best part is you put all that work in, and then some commenter says something super petty, and then you're like, why'd I even do this?
Oh yeah, that's how to set Dane off right there.
Yeah,
a petty comment.
I'm the editor, so imagine how I feel when I see a dumb comment.
But
on a video, he's busted his balls on.
You're right though, and that's the thing. It is hard to make YouTube videos and be consistent with it, because it's one of those things to where I've gone through this, and I think we've gone through this as a company, is that you put all this time and you have very little return, right? Because your return is your views, is your feedback, right? Is the people enjoying the content, but you enjoy making it yourself. But when you're putting all this effort and time into it, and you get 50 views, right, and like 2 likes or something like that, you think to yourself, dang, wish this kind of would have done better for all the time I put into it. But at the same time, that's one of those things where the more consistent you are, building that fan base or building that audience, it's not something that happens overnight for a lot of people. And I think that as long as you stick with it, and as long as you kind of have your own little editing style and what you enjoy doing, it makes sense. But I understand that when you're filming, it's easy to nitpick, because you do a take and then you could say something just minutely wrong, and you say, damn it, I have to do the whole thing over again, which it's really not even that big of a deal. No. Once you pulled into post-editing, right, you're editing, you can just chop that out. But at the time, it's really easy just to be hard on yourself, right?
Exactly. I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I guess talking about YouTube a little bit and talking about detailing, where did you learn a majority of your detailing, tricks and tips and all of that?
It's okay. We could do names here.
And use any company you want. You don't have to.
Yeah. No, actually, when I first started and I wanted to take care of my car, I started, YouTubing around, see best practices. And my first stumble was Larry.
Okay. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Larry was the first one I stumbled again, like way back then. I think back then he really didn't have that big of a following still.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of lucky, I would say, because he kind of has a really good approach to how he does detailing. So that was really interesting for me to come across him first.
Yeah.
From there, I saw Pan the organizer.
Yeah.
And so he was a big help, continuously to watch. Then I saw Obsessed Garage.
Okay.
Which very obsessive.
You're going down the rabbit hole there, right? It's like you got to build yourself up to the OG content.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I just found myself at that point like, oh, okay, I think maybe that's a little bit too much, because now it's, washing my car, it takes 2 hours, and it's like, I don't think I could spend more than 2 hours washing it.
But maybe it made you feel better about what you do, because you're like, well, at least I'm not that far down.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we know all those guys, and it's definitely a case of like, everybody is just a person at the end of the day. It's just how much you put into it and what you get out of it is your own personal choice.
What I like is that I'm no longer the weird one.
And that's the thing.
No longer,
you should feel just
right.
fine,
Everybody
Omar.
feels that way now. Like we're not. Like I used to think that. Like I really enjoyed just like my favorite day at work was when I could put my headphones in and just work on a car and not answer the phone, not deal with an employee, not try and train anybody. For me, like my best day was like, I'm going to spend 4 hours and I'm just going to polish for 4 hours straight. Like it's going to be amazing. And that and I thought I was weird for that. Like I thought like, I'm the only one that thinks this is like the greatest thing in the world. And so that having YouTube, having Instagram, having Facebook, having all these, like this world now,
I think it normalized. It normalized a lot of things that we'd question, and so for example, Katie was actually talking. My fiance was talking to her friends the other day, and her friends were saying, "Hey, Anthony needs to hang out with with our husbands or our fiancés because I want to get them in touch with each other." And Katie, she told me the story. She was like, "Well, Anthony." He enjoys doing things different than your guys. and they're like, well, what do you mean? And she's just like, well, your husbands like to go hunting and they enjoy, going down to the shooting range and they enjoy doing going to baseball games.
You're like, I like doing that stuff.
And all this stuff. But and then they're like, well, what does Anthony like to do? And she's like, he likes to clean his cars. And they're like, well, clean them. And then do what? And she's
I bet they're like, well, that's like 5 minutes, and then what do you do? It's
no. She's like, he likes to spend an entire day, and I'm like, well, Katie, you make me sound like I'm a serial killer because I have some type of weird issue. But that's the thing. Seeing all these YouTube videos and seeing all these other people on social media kind of brought that community together for the people that aren't pros necessarily, but they're hobbyists that enjoy using premium products and enjoy utilizing, really good techniques and to basically protect their investment, right? That's ultimately what we're trying to do is protect our investment, have a clean car that looks good. And when we receive the compliments of saying, hey, that's the cleanest, so-and-so, that's the cleanest car I've ever seen, right? I think it looks so clean, like the compliments that you get, it feels good. But at the same time, you're like, oh, that's kind of, I like that, but this is just what I do, right?
Absolutely.
So you have the ZL1 and then you have another car as well. You have another vehicle, right?
Yes. So the first here in Chicago, so we get some really bad winters. A lot of snow. So I'm definitely not taking out the ZL1 in all the salt and the snow. The first year I ended up just kind of winging it, Ubering to place, and that just didn't work out very well. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I've been doing some home remodeling, and I'm like, I'm just going to buy a truck. And so I bought a ZR2, and this one in white. I bought this one in white.
Dude. Yeah. So you have the opposite. So you have the polar, literally the polar opposite. You have a white and black vehicle there.
Yes. They had a black one too, and they're like, you should take the black one. I was like, nah, I don't think so. This one's gonna be outside all the time, and I just couldn't. I told them like I would go like just insane looking at the paint on this thing from watermarks and everything. I was like, no, I can't obsess over two cars.
Yeah. No, we totally get it. So, between the two, so basically the truck is your daily then, and then the ZL1 is what you're pretty much bringing, out during the nicer weather. Is there any cool places to drive over there? You like to take the car to shows, anything like that?
Yeah, so the ZL1 mainly, I try to drive it as much as I can because basically here you only get 6 months. And so the more I can drive it during the spring and summer, the better. I don't mind driving it in the rain.
Yeah.
And at that point, I want to get my days in. I definitely do attend some Cars and Coffee here and there.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And there's a lot of nice places to drive. Right, I live about 45 minutes away from downtown Chicago.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
okay, yeah.
Nice.
So there's a lot of nice structures out there where you can drive and take some nice pictures, Lake Michigan,
Yeah.
some other smaller suburbs where, again, because I'm so close to the city, there's just a lot of places you can take pictures here.
Yeah.
Drive
yeah.
around. Yeah.
No, cool. What I wanted to ask you, so in terms of just detailing products, and this is, again, I want you to name off any brand. What do you like to use? Like, what's your lineup at home? Are you
What's your
doing
go-to stuff?
Are you doing pressure washer washing? Are you doing rinseless washing? What's kind of like your lineup for your method? Like, what do you use?
Yeah. So my first towel I purchased a long time ago was the Rag Company towels.
Oh, you don't have to say that.
Ah, what a
First
suck
one.
up.
No.
It was the first one. My first towel was they were the gray miners.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I really
towel.
enjoy using those.
They're my favorite.
then-
365s all day long.
The second towel for drying, so like the other towel I bought was the Dry Me a River. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed those. I thought
Yeah.
they dried really well. And as far as product, just because the car takes so long to wash, I decided to go with ceramic coating my car with
Okay.
C quartz.
Okay, nice.
And,
Yeah.
and that kind of really eliminated the need to have to constantly wax it all the time.
Yeah.
Sure.
It just
Yeah.
made it a lot easier to wash. And so I have a pressure washer.
Okay.
I have a foam cannon. I got all the quick disconnect parts that you go with it.
Nice,
And
nice.
it makes it, again, quick to try to, wash the car. But as far as products, CarPro, that's really
Yeah.
what I'm liking right now.
Yeah.
Their products are really good. You guys
Are
sent
you-
off...
You
Go
wash them with like Reset, and you topping it with, you're doing so what's your soap? What's your do you have a drying aid? Do you have a topper? What are you doing for every wash?
So once a month, I actually use Reset
Okay.
for my car, and then every daily wash, or every 3 days or whenever
Mhm.
weekly wash, I use Glossworks.
Okay.
So I really enjoy that one. And for the foaming, I use Honeydew Snow Foam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I got a
the-
bottle of that I want to try out in my new setup that I'm
Good
that I'm
smells.
playing with. It smells good because it really does. It smells fantastic, and it does foam pretty
Yeah.
dang well.
Yeah, absolutely. Really thick soap. So
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoyed those products now. I just picked up a all-purpose cleaner from CarPro again. So they
Okay.
released a Multi-X product,
Yeah.
and it seemed to work really well. The first shot I did a 1 to 20, and I used it to just kind of get all that hard road grime, a lot of salt off my truck,
Doing like a pre-spray
Yeah,
or
no
something
shortage
like
of that,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it worked really well. I broke down everything really good. So yeah.
Nice,
Nice.
dude. Yeah, that's awesome. No, we're like, again, like when I say talk about any brand, we play with stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Just because we sell it doesn't mean that's the only stuff that we use. And we always try to tell people at the end of the day we're also detailers. We also enjoy trying different things.
Yeah, we do a lot of product testing, but on our videos and things like that, we only use what we sell because at the same time we're trying to market what we have so people will buy it.
It's our
It's a
job.
business.
It's our job. That's what we
that's
do.
kind of
Yeah.
what we have to do. But we get tons and tons of product sent to us daily.
Yeah.
From a bunch of different companies to test. Sometimes the companies just want to test which towels will work with their products. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily to make sure the products work or anything like that. It's just what
Correct.
towels would pair well so that they can either carry our towels or
Because
have an idea at least so that they can tell their customers, like, this type
Yeah.
of towel, works really
well,
well.
because chemicals aside, we started as a towel company, and we will
Yeah,
always
that's
be.
what we do.
That's our core is our towels, and so really the whole chemical world of things is really cool and interesting to us because no matter what brand it is, no matter what kind of chemical it is, there's always a towel that has a best friend to that chemical, right? And we feel that through our lineup. We have over 150 different types of towels and growing. That we're always able to find something that can be paired well with a product.
Yeah, gone are the days of just that one like one type of microfiber
Yeah.
for everything.
Well,
you
and,
know?
and that's what makes things really easy for people like you, who, are meticulous about their vehicles and, don't want to cross-contaminate, right? You don't want to use your minors with your Eagle Edgeless, right? You don't want to wash those together. You don't want to use those for the same job. And so offering the colors and offering the different styles of weaves and GSMs and all sorts of variations, you're able to say, this is my mitt I use with reset, right? This is my towel I use with reload. This is my, yada yada yada, and you can go down the rabbit hole, and you can really change things up to where not only does it work better, but if you have guys in a shop setting, right? Let's just say talking about production detailing, color coordinating is key for everybody. Yep. I mean, it makes a huge difference. But yeah, so I guess the next question is, so any big plans for the year? Anything cool that you're doing with the car? Anything exciting? Are you going to any major shows? Are you doing any other big detailing projects in the works?
Yeah.
So definitely trying to attend Camaro Fest this year.
Nice.
I think it's in July.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
My car's in the shop right now, so I'm actually doing a lot of engine work to it.
Oh, nice.
New cam, ported supercharger, ported snout.
Oh, that thing's already mean.
Man.
I can only imagine what it's going to be like now.
Dude, that's going to be nasty. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to get way better.
Yeah.
As far as on the car itself, the ceramic coating has been on there now for, I think, 3 years. So it's going to be time to take up, some pads to it and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Top it off maybe with, I think reload I'm going to use again.
Okay.
And, for that, that's about it. Hitting up Cars and Coffees, things like that.
Do you do you polish? Do you have a polisher? Do you ever polish cars? We just lost your audio there. Yeah. I wanted to ask what kind of experience you had polishing.
Yeah, so mostly I've used it for sealants. So not really. I've done a lot of corrections, so mostly just sealants, waxes. This spring, right? When I have to take it to my Camaro, I'm using their product that's supposed to be used just to clean the coating. And so that's going to be an interesting,
test
to go through with
what
it.
What polisher did you say it was?
I have a Porter cable.
Hey,
perfect. That's
yeah,
fine.
that's awesome. You know what? Hey, I'm a firm believer in the Porter cable. I love that little thing. And I don't know, do you know what size backing plate you have on that?
So I have 2. I have a 3 and I believe the 6 that it came with.
Okay.
Cool.
Some just
There's some hot topics right here. Get ready.
Everybody
Some
listening.
tips.
Throw on a 5-inch backing plate, right? And I'm not saying that we sell a 5-inch backing plate,
but
we do. And so the 5-inch on the Porter cable rips so much harder than the 6-inch.
You get more power out of it in a sense, but you get more rotations.
Yeah.
Is the biggest thing.
And so, like, with a 3-inch, you know how powerful that thing is, right? That thing is a freaking beast on a speed setting of 5. But get it on the 5-inch, and because the 6 is just, it really
almost
slows.
Feels like it's too much.
Yeah, it just slows it down. And so what I use is a 5-inch on a flat pad, and it just does a fantastic job. And I think for the most part, using Lake Country orange flat pads are one of my favorites. I think some other good ones out there. Hex Logic pads or Buff and Shine pads that have that hex design are great too on the flat pads.
Yeah, or even like the Lake Country CCSs.
Yeah, the CCS is fantastic as well. So, no, that's really cool. So I guess from here, what I wanted to transition to was just kind of talking about being a Grambassador and kind of, talk.
How was it?
How was it? Did
you enjoy it?
Did you like it? Do you have any
Was it too much work?
Any tips or tricks for us? Did we make you work hard? Just talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's been great being a Grambassador. Honestly, I was really excited when I was chosen again, just because that was my first towel I ever purchased was from the rag company.
Yeah,
and just being a true fan of them. It was really exciting. The only downfall for me was this winter was really bad. And when I say bad, there was like negative 50-degree weather out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Even if I tried to heat up my garage, it was just way too cold to wash anything.
Oh, yeah.
It was just impossible. And so maybe the timing was at least for me, a little hard just because
Yeah.
I wasn't
Sure.
able to produce as much content as I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that was my only thing, but I think moving forward, like, definitely will be able to post a little bit more content now that it's spring, summer's coming. I
absolutely.
truly enjoy using the products. So,
Yeah.
I think you'll see more from that.
Yeah.
No, and that's awesome. And so,
Yeah.
because one of the things is you're absolutely right. With the Q1, going from January to March, for a lot of people, and it wasn't just you. A lot of people were saying, "Well, crap. I got these towels. I have this product that I want to try. I want to use." But it is really cold, to still use this stuff. So that's why I think in the future, probably for next year for Q1, we'll probably create the care package that we sent out to you. We'll probably recreate that more around winter washing and maybe have that be a little bit more specific. So maybe something like O&R with a multi-sprayer instead of a foamer. Maybe do something like, some
More
extra
OptiClean.
towels or OptiClean, things like that, to where people could utilize those in the winter without freezing to death out there in negative 50-degree weather.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Because we the more we thought about it, you're absolutely right that certain people in certain quarters are going to be able to utilize more. So probably for let's just say quarter 3 Grambassadors, maybe their care package would be more around car soaps and things like that they can use out in those nicer months, right? And we'll have to dial all that in. But you guys were our test bed. You guys were our guinea pigs.
You're the guinea pig.
And but what do you think about the towels? Did you like the towels? We sent you a ton of car wash towels, right? And so we got the 16 by 27s as just general utility or just general detailing towels. What was kind of your favorite products out of the batch?
The biggest one for me was the drying towel, the Twistress, I think.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of the Dry Me a River, but the Twisters is just way better.
Yeah.
I was able to run through. Now I have to test it on my black car, but on my truck, it was like, I drive my car in like seconds. It was so good.
Oh, you get spoiled using those things.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So I bought the purple one. I forgot what that one's
The
called.
twist and shout.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twist and shout. So I love that one. And then I ordered myself the covers, the suede covers for when you're working on the car.
The fender
Nice.
defender.
Yeah.
The Fender Defender. Yes, that's another one that you guys sent in the kits, and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's something you don't really think about, but then as soon as you have one, you're like, why didn't I have this sooner?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, I love the Fender
Absolutely.
Defenders because I actually use mine for spin class. So it's like a towel. So it's like a very long, so I can like wipe my face off, or I can lay it over the bike when I'm riding, so I'm not like pouring sweat.
Yeah.
And it's light. It's not like heavy.
Well, and there's so many different ways you can use those. I mean, like for even though it's called the Fender Defender, and you would typically put that on the fender as you're leaning over something, but where I really like it is when I'm vacuuming out a car, right?
Yep.
My shop vac, the hose. For the longest time, I never cared when it rubbed up against the side skirt there. But then I'm thinking to myself, I could literally just lay that over the top. I don't have to worry about the hose anymore.
Yep.
Whether it's an air compressor, whether it's a shop vac, whether it's a steamer, I can get in and out of there without having to worry about scuffing that up. And
I used to use it for customers. I'd lay it out and let them get in the car.
Yeah.
So because they always drag their feet across the sill plate when they're getting in.
Yeah.
And always get it dirty and scuffed up. And it was like, all of a sudden I'm like, well, this will work just perfectly.
Yeah.
And it looks cool.
Yeah. No. So it's a really helpful thing. What about did you try any of the chemical products? I know we sent in some bead maker and we sent in some Pearl. Have you had a chance to try any of those out yet?
Yeah. So I've been washing my truck with the Pearl Wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great product. So
It
far,
smells good, like lemons, right?
Exactly. It again, it's cold out, so like getting your hands in there. I've been using warm water to
Yeah.
clean
Yeah.
my washes. Now that it's at least 36 degrees out here.
Oh wow, yeah, it's still cold.
So, it's still cold.
Did you try it rinseless yet?
I haven't.
So you can try it as a rinseless wash, and the dilution there would be the same as it's
Like O&R 1
yeah,
to 256.
yeah,
So
256 to
half
1.
an ounce per gallon.
Yeah. So
of
you
water.
would do you'd have to measure it out because this one doesn't have a half ounce cap, but
It's basically like 2 tablespoons. It's like tablespoon or something
and
like
so
that.
you can use it as a rinseless wash. It's a super safe pH balanced soap, meaning that you don't really have to rinse it. And you know how it's very liquidy, right, compared to
It's
most
very
other
thin.
soaps.
yes, Yep.
So a little goes a long way, and there's tons of
But it's
lubrication.
very slippery
So
still, even at that small of a dilution.
So what we'll do is typically when we're doing a rinseless wash with it, we will use it as a rinseless wash. We can still do a pre-spray with the foamer if we want to do a pre-spray. You can do a pre-spray with a multi-sprayer or just a trigger sprayer. And then after we get done wiping down that panel, we'll follow up with bead maker. And so then bead maker kind of basically adds the protection after we've cleaned it, and also really makes it smooth.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I've been saving bead maker for now that today it's 50 degrees out. So as soon as we're done,
what are we doing?
Hey, what are we doing? Wasting your time.
I'm gonna go wash my car. I took the day off just so I could wash cars.
Yeah,
Nice.
dude,
Nice.
That's awesome. No, give that a try, and let us know your thoughts. But I mean, so all in all, man, yeah, we've loved having you as a Grambassador. Seriously, like, everybody has contributed so much in one way or another, and everybody kind of had their own unique take on it, which is cool because it wasn't like everybody was producing the same kind of content or
We didn't tell
tagging
you
us in
what
the
to
same
do.
stuff.
Like, that's the big thing. Is very open ended.
We just let people ride with it, and seeing some people make videos, some people take some awesome pictures, seeing the story posts, all that just adds up to the grand scheme of trying to build the brand, trying to spread awareness of, obviously some really good towels, and spread awareness of just what the Rag Company is and how we do things. We're not like other companies, and we're laid back. Most companies probably wouldn't do a podcast.
What's this guy saying about my stuff? I need
And
to control the message. No.
And we just let it fly. We censor the things after we film it, but it kind of it comes as it is. But yeah, I mean, other than that, do you have anything for us that is there anything that we can improve on, or did you think that everything went smoothly? The whole process of applying, being chosen, and then just kind of understanding the rules of how all this works.
No, I think for the first try, it went great.
Cool.
My only thing, right, for me personally, was the weather. It was just extremely cold.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think even if I tried to do like a rinseless wash or something inside the
probably
garage,
freeze.
it would have frozen.
Yeah.
Like the liquid probably.
We
would
care
have
more
frozen.
about your safety than
So
Yeah.
that's helpful. So maybe next year we'll focus more on maybe like waterless washing, or we'll focus more on like OptiClean, things like that, to where you can just go into the garage, and if you have to wipe something down really quick, you can, and then just utilize some really good towels, some really plush
send like
towels.
a space heater or something.
Yeah, and we'll add a space heater.
We could. That's absolutely something we can do. But cool, man. Well, hey, we've loved having you
Thank
here
you,
on the
Omar.
podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Omar.
Thank you for chiming in, giving us your background, and then being a Q1 Grambassador. We look forward to seeing more content throughout the year, because technically, just because you were Q1 doesn't mean like it's ended and we're never going to talk to you again. You're still a part of the TRC team, and if we're ever out in Chicago area, we want to meet up. Go grab some food, grab a drink, something like that, and just hang out and talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see you, man.
Died again. All right,
He said thank you.
He said thank you. So cool, Omar. So thanks for chiming in, man. Dane, do you want to take this away?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Omar, for being a part of this. And
Check him out at
make sure you check him out on YouTube.
mr847 in the ZL1.
ZL1. That's
Yep,
right.
on Instagram. He's also has I think
Baby
it's
Dirty Max.
Baby Dirty Max.
Because it's a diesel ZR2. So that's
Yep.
pretty cool. So at any rate, glad we got all that covered. And thank you so much for listening, for watching, guys. And we got more coming. So with that said, we'll see you later. Adios.
Cool.